The cranberry ginger ale will waken you up. The empty bowl will give you a better movie.
I mean, to be fair, I never saw the first three.
How?
Um.
How do you even talk about this thing?
Well, it was really boring, and then it started to pick up, and then it's like, okay, I'm done.
Movie, come back! You're not done. Movie, come back! You're not even. You call it come back, movie. Come here, hello. Like
it's like, oh, it's starting to get interesting. Okay, I'm done.
Right when it starts, it just ends. It literally ends. Like it's without including end credits, for 2 hours and 17 minutes. It's such a slow burn, and then it finally picks up and it gets interesting. And okay, where's this gonna go? You're just gonna end it like that? Really?
You know,
really?
It makes me think of, you know, when you're a child and you're playing out in the yard with your friends, and like you're doing all the world building for your imaginary game, and then it starts to get good, and then you hear, Tommy, go home.
And that's happened at the end. The characters flew back home for dinner.
Yes, that's exactly what they did. They held hands and they flew off for Din Din.
I saw the Matrix movies. I'm not a fan of them. I'm sorry.
I never showed an interest in them. And then I saw the trailer for this, and I'm like, oh, this actually looks good.
I was suckered in as you were because I didn't like the first one. The second movie is just a bridging film. It's really not going anywhere. It's trying to expand on the universe and stuff. The third movie, on the other hand, is so bad guano insane. That's the one I remember the most. Does it mean I like it? No, but I still appreciate the insanity at least. Not a good movie, but insane. At least this one had a beginning, middle, and end compared to the other two.
Yeah, I mean the trailer made it look way different than it turned out to be.
Yeah, it's trying to be more of a retread of what was done familiar, but not in the sense like say Force Awakens or any other movie that's trying to base itself off of nostalgia.
Yeah.
The comparison I can think of is Wes Craven's New Nightmare, because that's what a lot of people are comparing it to. And I half agree, because the first chunk of the movie, it does feel like that. It starts off with Keanu Reeves being a game designer, and supposedly he made the Matrix trilogy, and they're trying to make a new one. And in a sense, it's like, okay, yeah, I can kind of see where this is going, because in the previous movie he was a programmer and made all these programs and stuff. Here he's a game designer. Okay, fine. And they make the Matrix this, I guess, video game franchise that they're trying to turn into a fourth one, even though we don't actually see like the video games on the shelf or anything like that, which is weird. It would have made a little more sense than that. And you know, talking about that now, it actually makes a little more it makes a little more sense thinking about the ending now. But at the same time, there's some stuff that doesn't quite work. Yeah, the whole the whole we're living inside an illusion and reality is just reality ordeal. When it was recapping things from the first movie, it was like kind of like, okay, I see what you're doing there. It's just like the others I've seen where they're just repeating it to refamiliarize, or for those who haven't seen it, give an idea of what it's all trying to be about. There's even the scene where the game designers are at the table going, the Matrix is about this, no, it's about that, no, it's this, no, it's that. It's all about the action, no, it's about the philosophy, and like, that's what everyone's been doing for the past 10, 20 years or so, except for me. Keanu Reeves is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't like in the past a couple of movies where he was like so monotone. At least he was interesting.
Yeah, not interesing enough though to save this movie. Like I wasn't as bored as I was with Jungle Cruise, but it was. I think it was because it started to pick up, and then it just ended.
It did. It like the second half at least did get more interesting when they started taking risks.
I mean, that was almost as abrupt as the ending to The Birds.
Well, there was a Well, they were gonna do that big ending on the bridge, but it would have
Yeah.
cost too much money, and they had to end it right there.
Yeah, which that made sense.
Yeah.
But this was just
Yeah.
like
It felt like it was building to something, just something. And when you find out what it's really trying to do all this time, and it just ends, it's like, no, there's so much more you could probably explore in this universe.
yeah.
There's a whole lot more you can do, and I'm trying not to give too much away, but when you really do figure out what they're trying to do this whole time, it's really freaking stupid.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
this whole.
Did it end like this to try to hint to a sequel? Is that why they?
I don't even think there's supposed to be a sequel. I think it's supposed to be its own thing, unless they are trying to do a sequel. And I don't know what one of the Wachowski sisters are doing. Is it right to say sisters?
I think.
Because they both decided to transition, so.
I think so.
Because I didn't know if siblings or sisters was right, because only one of them came back, and it feels like I have half of the amount of a Matrix film. Because there was all I remember is like a lot of the talking and a lot of the philosophy. There's a bleeding scene in the sequel where they're at a restaurant and they talk about the pleasure of a steak and how it causes passing gas. That's a thing that happens.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, this is why I'm not into those movies at all. We're talking about the third movie where they literally... And this was before At World's End came out, the Pirates 3, where you had Neo in Limbo and the crew trying to save him out of Limbo, and they have to go to this metaphorical version of hell just to get him out of there. Just like Captain Jack Sparrow was trapped in Limbo from World's End, even though that came out after, but regardless. I don't know if I should recommend this one, because there's such a slow burn, and then finally, when it kicks up, it gets interesting. There's only so few things that are unique about it. Neil Patrick Harris is kind of interesting, but he's not really all there. He doesn't even do much.
Yeah, he's just like, excellent, and that's it.
Yeah, it's just, I'm evil, I'm gonna
And
monologue. I'm gonna monologue around you and hyper bullet time like it's something out of Clock Stoppers.
And Agent Smith.
Again, I don't want to. Yeah, in the originals, he was like the major bad guy, and then later he's like supposed to be a computer virus and the whole thing. This one, I have no idea what the direction is.
Yeah,
like,
I'll
they
say...
didn't even get the original cast back.
Yeah,
no Hugo Weaving, no Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah. All I'll say is that Agent Smith, it was like...
confusing.
It felt like they forgot to watch the other movies from what you've told me about him.
Which is weird, because this is being written by one of the Wachowski sisters, so...
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like how the most recent Pirates movie, you could tell that they didn't watch the other movies, because there was a lot of stuff that made no sense.
Was it one of them or two of them? I gotta know. I gotta know, honey.
Yeah, it was
It was a mess, but I can't say it was terrible. I've seen worse this year, way worse. This was just like literally, this is a pimple you can just easily pop and get rid of. Compared to something like, say, The Green Knight, which is a freaking kidney stone to pass.
Thank you. Now whenever I watch this movie, I'm going to think of popping zits.
Look, with a bad sequel, you can just brush it off and move on, because at least there's more than one in the franchise. This one is just... I don't know.
Yeah, it probably would have helped if I watched the other three movies, but... Well, no, I don't think that would have helped.
So you only got one of the Wachowskis, Lana, and it was written by two other people. One was David Mitchell of Cloud Atlas, which I didn't see.
I saw that years ago with my sister.
And,
we liked it.
And the other person was Alexander Heman of the Lazarus Project. And Nowhere Man.
Yeah, okay, here's how I would recommend this movie. If you need background noise when you're trying to go to sleep, watch this movie.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. There is a perfect metaphor for this movie. Every time they go into a bathroom, they just see it as a safe haven. I am not kidding. There are scenes where apparently they go to bathrooms to escape. The first scene where Neo meets not Morpheus or Morpheus 2.0 is in a bathroom.
Just call him Pebble Morpheus because he's Pebbles.
Oh, I can't go into details of that, but I guess I see. I see.
You'll see.
Bam, bam!
Yeah, you'll see when you guys watch it.
It's a neat effect, but even then, yeah, this was a thing.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see it again, but with James, because he's a bigger Matrix head than I am. I just want to see him explode in front of the screen like, what did they do to my franchise? Ah! He's a bigger Matrix fan than I am. Or else he's already seen it by now.
Do you want to do a spoiler thing?
Should we? I don't know.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
I want to end this video in a nice way, but you know what? Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so
yeah.
right here, spoilers. Before you close out or anything, it's better than the third one. At least there's a beginning, middle, and end. There are some things I did like here and there, but my God, it's a freaking slow burn. It is such a slow burn. And when you see what they're building up to, it feels not that exciting. It feels like they're building to something big, like a new revolution, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like we should have just watched the 3-hour cut of Needful Things. That's more interesting, because that freaking builds to something.
Yeah. Still better than My Fair Lady. Don't watch it.
Which one?
Audrey Hepburn.
Oh, I saw that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
It was alright.
No. Man, I watched it the other night.
I mean, it doesn't...
Super problematic. The main character's obnoxious. I'm going to scream all my dialogue for the first half of the movie. But we're not talking about My Fair Lady.
Is it because of that ending where, like, she, like, gets back at him, and then he goes back to Rex Harrison's character?
Well, it was just the entire... We'll discuss it later.
And the fact that she's, like, being forced to be a more proper woman.
Well, she went willingly to him on that, but it was. But we're not talking about My Fair Lady. We're talking about The Matrix, so let's go into spoiler zone.
Oh, no, I'm actually kind of fascinated by your theories of My Fair Lady. It's not my favorite musical, but at the same time... Oh, come on, that scene at the racetrack was hilarious. Get your ass moving! Okay, yeah, that was good. That was good.
There was only two funny scenes. That scene and during his misogynistic song where he did the bit with the chipmunk voices.
Why can't women be like men?
Yeah, that was funny. The rest of the movie, no. I mean... Audrey Hepburn's character was obnoxious for the first half of the movie.
Oh, not even the father as the wedding.
Oh my God, the father! He was a waste of time. He was a waste of time.
And then they carry him off.
It was a waste of time.
And then they carry him off like a casket because his life is dead.
And the musical numbers would not stop. And then all the music was literally, we're just going to repeat the same lyric over and over again. Oh, with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of luck, no, oh, a little bit of luck, and a little bit of luck. Shut up! Okay, let's get back to The Matrix before I have a... because thinking about that movie... You're not helping me.
I love this. I'm sorry.
You're too
lovely.
Wouldn't it be lovely?
I love you.
I love you too. All right, back to The Matrix.
All right, Matrix 4. So then Rex Harrison gets on a giraffe, rides away to Africa. No, that's Dr. Dolittle. Where to begin?
Well, when I was talking about the whole thing with Agent Smith, he's not a virus in this movie anymore. And he was pretty much like Smeagol and Golem. I'm good. I'm bad. I'm good. I'm bad.
Yeah. This was my interpretation of the character. It's probably wrong. In the earlier first couple of movies, he's supposed to be the antagonist. It's trying to keep everything grounded in reality to the rules of the Matrix that don't go outside the laws of like physics and everything. But then in the second and the third one, he starts infecting people and cloning himself. to make him like this super virus kind of thing so he can take over the Matrix and make it in his image and things like that. And that's one aspect I thought that was actually kind of interesting. A computer program that is used to check in on the realities of the world to make sure it's all kept in place is overdoing himself to the point that he himself wants to bend the rules of the reality that they're inside. I actually like that idea. And here, they just took it in a completely different direction. First, he's the antagonist again. Okay, fine. He's a different actor. Okay, fine. They set that up in the third movie when they couldn't get the original actress to play the Oracle back because she passed away during the production of the second film. And so they made this bullshit reason where she apparently could, like, update her appearance and things like that, hence why they got a new actress and stuff. Okay, fine. I can let that slide a little bit, why they had to get a new actor for Morpheus and the Smith and things like that.
And that was confusing too with Morpheus, but we'll get back to that.
Yeah, because then they show like footage of the other movies, and
Well,
it's Lawrence Fishburne,
and then they
don't even explain that.
And then they have the statue, and he's apologizing to the statue. It's like Morpheus is still, he's still around.
Is
Or I don't know.
maybe it's because he didn't believe him or something like that. Because
or maybe it was a
when
deal.
because when he went to meet up with him, like he tries to convince him to go with him with like the red pill and stuff. And he's like, I don't believe this. I guess this is not happening because he's going like this psychological trauma and stuff.
Well, either that or maybe Morpheus wasn't originally a program and then he became a program. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think he started out as a program, so that was confusing.
It was confusing.
That was. I don't even remember what. Even if they did, it just flew over my head.
Yeah.
And then he had the. I like the stuff Neil Patrick Harris being the therapist.
Yeah.
And how he's like putting in like false memories and stuff like that, and claiming that Neo was like trying to. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Thomas instead of Anderson, is like with like depression and stuff like that. But I felt like they could have handled that a little better. Yeah. There was something about that felt a little manipulative in hindsight. It just didn't feel right.
And like during that whole sequence, they're using the song from the trailer.
Oh, Alice. White Rabbit by Jeff Starship.
And the trailer, pretty much, that sequence was almost exactly the trailer.
Wasn't there a scene? Maybe I'm getting this mixed up with the wrong movie. Wasn't that like buildings folding into each other, or was that Spider-Man No Way Home?
I could have sworn they were showing that in this trailer too. But then again, in the trailer, they have a line where, Neo says, "Am I crazy?" And Neil Patrick Harris is like, "Oh, we don't use that word," and that never happened in the movie at all.
Something tells me there was something here, and they started cutting it down.
Yeah,
because there's some things that don't really add up, and not to mention when they do wake out of the Matrix, it's such an easy place to get out of.
Oh man, it just drags so bad, and like there's like this whole stupid subplot where. They save him, and then the general lady is pissed off that they,
I didn't believe in legends anymore because of what happened to us.
And then she puts him in jail, and then they break him out of jail, and then they pull them back again, and she acts like she's going to demote the captain lady, and it was like, what? And then, the captain lady gets her way anyway because they're going to go and rescue Trinity.
Oh, I was, literally, nearly half asleep during that portion.
Yeah.
I knew about the Trinity stuff. Oh, God,
well, it made no sense that the general was being all pissy to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And it's like...
Oh, and speak of the devil, they got, what's her name back?
Woman who played Trinity? Or the general?
No, not the general, Carrie-Anne Moss. Carrie-Anne Moss as Trinity.
Ah.
Yeah, she's back.
Yeah.
They don't explain... Oh, no, they do explain it, but not very good. They rebuild their bodies?
Yeah, so they did die at the end of the third movie, and then their bodies got rebuilt, and they had to be kept separate because when they touched, they did a magical glow thing.
Apparently, they cause giant explodey thingies, because they're both powerful. It's like yin and yang. When they put them together, they're powerful.
Pretty much a supernova orgasm thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where it started getting a little weird.
Yeah, and then, they finally, she acts like she's gonna, stay in the fake world, and then she sees,
Oh yeah, because she has like a family.
yeah, and then
two
she
children.
sees Neo about to be killed by
Neil Patrick Harris and the SWAT team. How do you love this? There's a cafe called the Simulate, and it's full of SWAT team folks. Trinity comes in, only in this universe she's renamed Tiffany, and she sees like all the SWAT group around him and everything. Not once do they question it, unless they explained it, because at one point it's like, oh no, the Matrix like can hide things so you can see like certain things are supposed to be, because at some point they show that Neo in this version of the Matrix, I guess, is like Santa Claus with a white beard. Unless that's the excuse as to why, I still don't believe it. There should have been a shot of her like looking into the cafe and seeing like none of the SWAT there, so she's seeing what the Matrix is forcing her to see, which made it even more confusing.
Yeah. And then, they do this whole epic thing where they escape. And this is where, the movie's really picking up. They go and confront Neil Patrick Harris, and then they hold hands, and they fly off, and then the movie ends.
We're going to change the Matrix. We're going to put rainbows in the sky.
Okay, bye. See you later.
Here we come, Mars.
Okay, bye. We're going to fly off into the sky.
And then it just ended.
Yeah,
I'm just like, no, honey, it can't end there.
When the credits started rolling, me and him were like, what?
No.
It's like, that was it? It finally was getting interesting, and then it just ended.
It's like ending Hook with Peter Banning turning into Peter Pan. He's still got to save the kids.
Or...
man.
Okay, it would be like if The Lion King ended with Mufasa's death.
No, it would be like if The Lion King ended with Simba walking off with Timon and Pumbaa and go like, he's nowhere. He's
okay.
Like,
oh yeah.
That would be worse, because you got Scar taking over the Pride Lands.
So, would not recommend. Unless you want something to fall asleep to.
Yeah, it's tough, because there are some aspects of this I can kind of see myself being okay with, but as an overall product, it's better than the third one, but this is coming from someone who did not like The Matrix. Yeah. And for that, I can't recommend it. If you're a fan, there's some neat callbacks here and there, and like I said, the first half is interesting, I'll say that much. But then when they get Neo out of The Matrix, and he's back doing the same old shtick, it's just, it goes downhill.
Yeah, it was... Well, hopefully next time we'll have a more interesting movie to talk about.
Yeah.
We still haven't watched Gucci yet.
If it's still in theaters.
Yeah, we should do that next week. And something tells me that, at the very least, will not be boring.
There's plenty of options out there. I mean, it's not like we're shortchanged.
Yeah. What?
No, I'm holding back. I don't want you to kill me.
I'm just going to keep staring at you until you say it.
Let's see. If that one annoys her, I wonder. Mamma mia, here we go again.
Ha ha! I do not think so!
Rinse, ponder, and repeat. That was a parody me and James did years ago. We couldn't get it finished.
Great, now I have Mamma Mia stuck in my head.
See that girl, repeat that scene, rinse, ponder, and repeat.
Well, isn't that what the sequel of Mamma Mia is? It's practically a rehash of the first movie.
Yes.
But now it's the daughter's turn.
Yeah.
And a lesson wasn't learned, kids.
There was a radio play we tried to get off the
Sleep
ground.
Around. Don't know who the baby daddy is to your girl. DNA test. Hello.
It's a girl, that's Mr. DNA said. I can't think of any more songs from My Fair Lady. I can't annoy you anymore.
Yeah. That movie is another doozy.
Mm.
You know it's not going to be good when 5 minutes in and you're already annoyed.
Oh, it's because of the professor character's ideologies.
Oh yeah, just the entire movie. Like the entire movie was problematic. He doesn't learn a lesson at all. He doesn't change at all. She just goes back to him anyway, even though she has like this nice young guy who's interested in her, who pretty much figures out that she's...
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's
oh my god.
He's aware. He learns about her.
Oh yeah, and she goes with him.
Yeah, well,
like as revenge against the professor and stuff. Because she realized it's a bet.
Well, no, she wanted to leave, and the professor pretty much, acted like he was okay with her leaving. Then he got mad that she actually left. But the young guy, he didn't care that she was like from the lower class. He liked her for her. And who does she go with? The crusty old fart who's a misogynistic piece of crap.
You think Hair still holds up?
Hair? I never watched Hair.
Let the sun shine in. Let the sun...
I haven't seen Hair.
Oh.
Sorry.
I read the premise.
Yeah. And to think, My Fair Lady won over Mary Poppins.
I thought you didn't like Mary Poppins.
I do like Mary Poppins! I didn't like Mary Poppins Returns. That was a colossal waste of time. But even that was better than My Fair Lady.
I was more of a Bed Knobs and Broomsticks person. Merry Christmas, my love.
Merry Christmas, my love. We'll see you all next week.
Oh. You're cute when you get mad.
Oh, thank you. Glad you like insane ladies.
Hey, I'm crazy too. Let's get crazy together.
Oh, the camera's still on.
Oh shit.